All right, let's explore 4 common string methods and show how we can actually call them on our series within our data frame. Let's begin by executing our code, and there we have our Chicago data set. And I'll actually begin with a review of how these methods work on regular Python strings, just as a little bit of a warm-up act. So we have the lower, the upper, the title, and the len methods. So the lower method converts all of the characters in a string to lowercase. So for example, if I have something like hello world and I call .lower on it, the great thing about Jupyter Notebook is that we can write regular old Python here. There you can see it's converted all of the letters to lowercase, and it doesn't matter if they're currently in lowercase. For example, if I just have hello world, it's going to convert all of the characters to lowercase regardless of what they currently are. The second complementary method is, of course, upper, and that does the reverse. So if I have a string that's all lowercase and I call upper on it, that converts all of the characters to uppercase. There's my hello world. That's coming from this example right here. I also have a convenient method called title. Now what title does, if I write out hello world, is it capitalizes the first letter of every word. And the way it figures that out is with spaces. So what title does is it's going to capitalize the H because it's the first character in this word, and it's going to capitalize the W because it's the first character in this word. And as you can see, hello world there is uppercase at the beginning of each word. And finally, we have the len built-in Python function. Now, len isn't something that we actually call on a string. Rather, we pass a string into the len built-in function, and that just tells us the number of characters within that string. So once again, if I do hello world, it's actually going to give us 11 because spaces count. So hello is 5 characters, this space is the 6th character, and here's 5 more characters for a total of 11. So there we have our familiar Python string methods. Now when it comes to using these on entire columns, the syntax is going to be a little bit different than what you might expect. So I'm actually going to create a few cells below here, get that Python stuff out of the way. So you would think it would be simply a matter of extracting a specific column. Let's say I want to take the name series and then call a string method on it. Unfortunately, a method like title here is not going to work. It's actually going to trigger an error. And I think this has something to do with the backend with conflicts with the existing Python method names. So the solution here and the way that the pandas library is designed is that whenever you call a string method, it has to be prefixed with another combination of letters, which is .str. So here I have my series, and just like a regular method, I have to begin with a dot. And then I'm going to have this little precursor, .str. That's basically short for string. After that .str, I place another dot, and that's where I actually write the string method that I want to use. So if I want to apply the string lower method, the lower method to every string within my name series, I do .str.lower. And what you'll see that will do is convert everything to lowercase. Now, unfortunately, all of these columns are already in uppercase, so we can't necessarily see the impact of calling upper on any of them, but I can actually go ahead and string these methods along right here, so I can call upper on my lower series right here, so you can see the impact. And whenever we change string methods, we still have to include that str prefix. So I'm going to do .str.upper, give it another set of parentheses, and there we have it in uppercase. Let's take a look at a few more examples. We also have the convenient title method, and I think that's the one that we really want here. So for example, if I wanted to make the names look nice and pretty, I can extract that name column. And then to call the title method, I can't just go ahead and do .title. I have to attach that .str prefix before using another dot and using the string method that I want. Title is going to capitalize the first character of every separated word for every value in my series. So there we have our brand new series. Similarly, if I wanted to do the same thing for position title, I can do Chicago position title. To extract it, there is my regular series where I have all of my values in uppercase. If I want to just capitalize the first letter of each word, I have to begin with the .str prefix, another dot, and call my string method. And there we have them in a much more presentable format. And within seconds, Pandas has performed that operation on 32,000 different values. Pretty impressive when you think about it. And again, what we're returning here is a brand new series. So if we just want to overwrite our original series, we can do something like this. And then we're going to have a normal looking series. I'm just going to preview the first couple rows of Chicago, and you can see we've replaced all of the values in the position title column with much more presentable, more pretty looking data. And finally, we discussed the len method, or in Python rather, it's a built-in function, and in Pandas it's actually built as a method. So let's say I want to take the number of characters in each of the values in my department column. I'm going to begin by extracting it by doing this. Now, unfortunately, if we passed this whole series into len, it's just going to give us the number of rows. That's the default design. So in order to get the number of characters in every single value here, we just do the exact same syntax as we saw above. We do .str, which is the common prefix for a string method, and then another dot, and then the method we want to call, which in this case is going to be len. So when we're working with series in Pandas here, len is not a built-in function. It's actually an available method. It just has to be prefixed again with that .str three-letter combination. And if we take a look at this, it's going to calculate the number of characters within every single one of those values. So water management has 11, and then police on rows 1 and 2 have 6. So those are just 4 common string methods: lower, upper, title, and len. And in this lesson, we also introduced that little str prefix. This is going to be very common throughout these lessons for our string methods. And we do have to place it before any of our string methods when we're calling them on our series. Otherwise, we will get a pandas error. And in the next lesson, we'll continue diving into more string methods, starting with the replace method.